Good morning, dear students. In today's class, we are going to learn about the new chapter of statistics, that is index numbers. Now, what do you mean by index number? Index means indication or showing any kind of information. Index number means indication or showing any kind of information in the given phenomenon. According to the information, we will be indicating some required information. So this index number is useful in many fields or many concepts like economics, progress of our study of a country, or business or production in increasing or decreasing, changes in manufacturing policy, etc. etc. So the word index means indication or showing any kind of information. So we will be using this index number to describe the information in the ratios. Next we shall see what is the definition. Definition of index number is: index numbers are statistical devices designed to measure the relative changes in the level of phenomenon with respect to true time, geographical location, or other characteristics such as income, profession, etc. Index numbers are statistical devices designed to measure the relative changes in the level of a phenomenon with respect to time, geographical location, or other characteristics such as income, profession, etc. Now, the meaning of statistical devices. Statistical means you know already, the statistics means enumeration, interpretation of a data. So this data is designed to measure the relative changes of a level of a particular variable or group of variable with respect to time, or the changes in the geographical location with respect to the income or profession, etc. Next we shall see the two words base year and current year. What do you mean by the base year? The year selected for comparison is known as base year. The year for which comparisons are required is known as current year. The year for which comparisons are required is known as current year. The year selected for comparison is known as a base year. Now let us see just a brief example to understand what is base year and current year. For example, if index number of wholesale price of milk products in 2010 as compared to 2000 is 130, the implication is that overall level of wholesale prices of milk products in 2010 has increased by 30% of the level in 2000. So we have learnt about base year, that is the year which is selected for comparison is known as base year. So in this we observe that 2000 year is compared with 2010. So 2000 is a base year and 2010 is a current year. 2000 is a base year and 2010 is a current year because 2000 is compared with 2010. So 2000 is the base year. Next we shall go on to the terms, that is price relative, quantity relative, and value relative. Price relative is the price of the current year expressed as the percentage of the price in the base year. So price relative, which is denoted by capital P, and the price relative of the current year is denoted by P1, and the base year is denoted by P0. So the formula for calculation of price relative, P is equal to current year price divided by base year price into 100, which is equal to P1 divided by P0 into 100, where P1 is the current year price and P0 is the base year price. Next term, that is quantity relative. It is the ratio of quantity of commodity in the current year expressed as the percentage of quantity in the base year, and is given by Q is equal to Q1 divided by Q0 into 100, where Q is quantity relative, Q1 is the quantity of commodity in the current year, Q0 is the quantity of in the base commodity, quantity of commodity in the base year. Next is value relative. It is the ratio of value of commodity in the current year V1 expressed as the percentage of the value in the base year V0, and is given by V is equal to V1 divided by V0 into 100, which is equal to P1 Q1 divided by Q0 into 100. Price relative, P is equal to current year price divided by base year price into 100, that is current year price is denoted by P1 divided by P0 into 100. So remember these three formulas, that is price relative, P is equal to P1 divided by P0 into 100, quantity relative, Q is equal to Q1 divided by Q0 into 100, value relative, V is equal to V1 divided by V0 into 100. Next we shall move on to the uses of index numbers. Uses of index numbers. Index numbers simplifies the data, thus facilitates comparative study. It simplifies the data, means it is very easy to calculate, and which facilitates for the comparative study. So comparison can be made easily and it is very easy to calculate. Second one, index numbers are used in studying trends and tendencies. Index numbers are used in studying trends. Trends means day by day new changes takes place with respect to certain tendencies. So index numbers are used in studying the trends and tendencies. Index numbers help in measuring purchasing power of money and also used for deflation. Purchasing power of money. So what quantity with respect to the quality need to be purchased by the usage of money, or to be sold with the help of money, the index numbers are used. Index numbers measure the change in cost of living of different groups of people. Index numbers measure change in cost of living of a different group of people. Last, index numbers are used by governments to frame suitable policy regarding fixation of bank rates, allowances to government employees, license to new firms, imports, exports, taxation, etc. So these are the 5 uses of an index number. The first use is index numbers simplifies the data, thus facilitates the comparative study. Second one, index numbers are used in studying trends and tendencies. Third one, index numbers help in measuring purchasing power of money and also used for deflation. Fourth one, index numbers measure change in cost of living of different group of people. Index numbers are used by government to frame suitable policies regarding fixation of bank rates, allowances to government employees, license to new firms, imports, exports, taxation, etc. So these are the 5 uses of index numbers. Next we shall move on to the limitations or demerits of index numbers. Index numbers being most widely used in statistical device have their own limitations. Any of the concepts, certain limitations will be there or demerits will be there. So we will learn some of the limitations or demerits of index numbers. Since index numbers are based on simple data, they are only approximate indicators. So only the sample data is been given, the approximate indications can be made. Second one, there is a likelihood of error being introduced at each stage of construction of index numbers. There is a likelihood of error. Likelihood of error is being introduced. Some of the errors each stage of construction of the there is a likelihood of error being introduced to each stage of construction of index numbers. When constructing index numbers, the quality of product is not taken into consideration. So while constructing index numbers, the quality of product is not taken into consideration. As customs, traditions and habits of people vary from time to time, and it is difficult to assign proper weights to the various items. Sixth one, many formulas are used in construction of index numbers, and the different formulas give different answers. The certain limitation is many formulas are there and different formulas give you the different answers. With respect to the traditions, the habitat of living, the from time changes in the time to time, the index numbers varies with respect to the weights that have been considered. So the first limitation is index numbers are based on sample data, they are only approximate indicators. Second one, there is a likelihood of error being introduced at each stage of the construction of the index numbers. Third one, while constructing index numbers, the quality of product is not taken into consideration. Fourth one, like other statistical techniques, index numbers can be misused to get desired conclusions. So this index numbers, whenever a specialized or a trained knowledgeable person should be there to implement these statistical techniques. Otherwise, like index numbers, the index numbers can be misused to get the desired conclusions. As fifth one, as customs, traditions and habits of people vary from time to time, it is difficult to assign proper weights to the various items. Sixth one, many formula are used to construction of index numbers, and the different formula gives you the different answers. Next we shall move on to the types of index numbers. First type is price index numbers, second one is quantity index numbers, third one is value index numbers. First one, price index number, second one, quantitative index numbers, third one, value index numbers. Now first let us see what is price index numbers. The price index numbers measure the general change in the prices of articles in the current period as compared to that of the base period. The changes with respect to the current period and the base period in the prices is nothing but price index numbers. The price index numbers measure the general change in the prices, that is the change in the prices of articles in the current period as compared to that of the base period is known as price index numbers. It is denoted by P01. Price index numbers are further subdivided into wholesale price index numbers, retail price index numbers, and consumer price index numbers. So wholesale price index numbers, the wholesale index number reflect the relative change in the wholesale price level. Retail indicates the relative change in the retail prices of the various commodities, and consumers, it is mostly commonly known as the cost of living index, which is specialized for the kind of a relative price index. So price index, they are subdivided into mainly two categories. They are wholesale price index numbers, and second one is retail price index numbers. Wholesale price index numbers, it is the numbers that reflect the relative change in wholesale price level. Retail price index number reflect the relative change in the retail prices of the various commodity. Next, quantity index number study the relative change in the volume of goods produced or consumed or distributed. This is nothing but the change in the volume of production of goods or consumption or in the distribution. It is denoted by Q01. Next, value index numbers. Value index numbers study the relative change in the total money value of production is denoted by V01. These are the three types of index numbers. First one is price index numbers, which studies the relative change in the price of the articles in the current period with respect to the base period. Next is quantity index numbers, which is the study in which we study about the relative change in the volume of the production of goods, consumption, and in the distribution. Value index number, it is nothing but we study the relative change in the total money value of a production, and it is denoted by V01. Price index number is denoted by P01. Quantity index number is denoted by Q01. So here I wind up today's session. Thank you.